Have you ever wondered what happens to your debt after you die? Do your children inherit it? Does your spouse become responsible for it? Can credit card companies come after your family? Or does the debt simply disappear? If you've ever asked yourself any of those questions, you're not alone. And today, we're going to uncover the truth. Because there are millions of Americans approaching retirement who are carrying credit card debt, mortgages, auto loans, personal loans, medical debt, and other financial obligations. And many people are worried about one important question. What will happen to my family when I'm gone? Welcome back to Money Smart Basics. My name is Alfonso Brooks Bay. If you're interested in retirement planning, Social Security, personal finance, estate planning, and protecting your financial future, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because on this channel, we believe financial literacy is one of the most important skills you can develop. Now let's dive in. Here's a surprising statistic. Research shows that approximately 73% of Americans die with debt. Think about that for a moment. Nearly 3 out of every 4 people leave behind some type of financial obligation. That could be a mortgage, credit cards, medical bills, auto loans, student loans, or personal loans. Question for you. Do you currently owe money on anything right now? A house, a vehicle, a credit card? Leave a comment below. The first thing we need to understand is this. Debt does not automatically transfer to your children. Let me say that again. In most situations, your children do not inherit your debt. This is one of the biggest financial myths in America. Many people spend years worrying that their children will be forced to pay off their credit cards after they die. In most cases, that simply is not true. But that doesn't mean debt disappears immediately. Instead, debt is generally handled through something called your estate. Your estate includes everything you own. Your home, your bank accounts, your investments, your vehicles, your personal property, and other assets. When someone dies, creditors typically have the right to make claims against the estate. In simple terms, creditors get in line asking to be paid from the assets left behind. Now here's something many families don't realize. Before heirs receive an inheritance, debts often must be settled first. That means if someone leaves behind $100,000 in assets and $50,000 in debt, the debt may be paid before beneficiaries receive what's left. Question for you. If something happened to you tomorrow, would your family know where all your accounts are located? Would they know your debts? Would they know your assets? Many families struggle because those answers are unclear. This is one reason estate planning is so important. Now let's talk about credit card debt. Suppose someone dies with $20,000 in credit card balances. What happens? Generally speaking, the credit card company files a claim against the estate. If there are sufficient assets available, the estate may pay the debt. If there are insufficient assets, the creditor may receive only a portion of what is owed, and in some cases, nothing at all. Many people are surprised to learn that adult children are generally not responsible for a parent's credit card debt, but there are exceptions, and that's where things get interesting. Let's discuss co-signers. Have you ever co-signed a loan for someone? Maybe a child, maybe a grandchild, maybe a friend. When you co-sign a loan, you become legally responsible for that debt. If the primary borrower cannot pay, the lender can pursue the co-signer. The same principle often applies after death. If someone was legally responsible before death, they may remain responsible afterward. This is why co-signing should never be taken lightly. Question: have you ever co-signed a loan for someone? Would you do it again? Now, let's talk about mortgages. Many retirees carry mortgage debt into retirement. Some experts estimate that more retirees today have mortgage debt than previous generations. So, what happens when a homeowner dies? The mortgage doesn't disappear. The loan remains attached to the property. Family members typically have several options. They may continue making payments, sell the home, refinance the property, or use estate assets to satisfy the debt. The important point is understanding that the property and the debt are connected. Now let's discuss medical debt. Medical expenses can be one of the largest financial burdens for retirees. A serious illness can generate substantial bills. When someone dies, those medical bills may become claims against the estate. Again, the estate is generally responsible, not necessarily the children, not necessarily other family members, but state laws can vary, which is why professional legal guidance may be helpful for specific situations. Now here's where many people become confused. What about spouses? Can a surviving spouse become responsible for debt? The answer is sometimes. It depends on several factors. Was the debt jointly owned? Was the spouse a co-borrower? Does the state follow community property rules? The answers can vary. This is one reason couples should discuss finances openly before retirement. Question: do you and your spouse regularly discuss your debts and financial plans? Or is one person handling everything? The more transparent you are today, the easier things may be later. Now let's talk about a scenario that surprises many people. What happens if the estate has no money? Imagine someone dies owing $50,000, but only leaves behind $10,000 in assets. The estate may not be able to fully satisfy all creditors. In some situations, creditors may receive partial payment. In other situations, they may receive nothing. This is called an insolvent estate. The important takeaway is that creditors generally cannot create money that doesn't exist. They can only pursue assets that are legally available. This leads us to an important retirement question. Should retirees focus only on building wealth, or should they also focus on reducing debt? I believe both matter, because it's not only what you make, it's what you keep. And it's not only what you accumulate, it's what you pass on. Many people spend decades building assets, but unnecessary debt can reduce the legacy left behind. Let's think about this. If two retirees each have $500,000 in assets, but one owes $200,000 in debt, who leaves behind more wealth? The answer is obvious. Debt can quietly reduce a family's inheritance, which is why debt management remains important even during retirement. Now, let's discuss estate planning. Estate planning is not just for wealthy people. Let me repeat that. Estate planning is not just for millionaires. Every adult should have a basic estate plan. At minimum, consider having a will, beneficiary designations, powers of attorney, healthcare directives, and an organized list of assets and liabilities. Question: do you currently have a will? If not, why not? Many people delay estate planning because they think they have plenty of time, but none of us knows what tomorrow brings. A good estate plan can save families enormous stress. Now let's talk about beneficiary designations. Many financial accounts allow beneficiaries to be named directly. Retirement accounts, life insurance policies, some investment accounts. These designations can be incredibly important. Why? Because beneficiary designations often override what is written in a will. That's right. An outdated beneficiary form can create major problems. Question: when was the last time you reviewed your beneficiaries? 1 year ago? 5 years ago? 20 years ago? If it's been a while, it may be time for a review. Now let's discuss life insurance. Life insurance is often viewed as income replacement, but it can also provide liquidity. In simple terms, it can create immediate cash when needed. That cash may help surviving family members pay expenses, cover obligations, or maintain financial stability during a difficult time. Again, every family's situation is different, but this is one reason life insurance remains an important planning tool for many retirees. Let's shift to a bigger lesson. The real question isn't, what happens to my debt when I die? The better question is, what financial situation will I leave behind for my loved ones? Will they inherit confusion or clarity? Will they inherit stress or preparation? Will they inherit financial burdens or financial opportunities? Those are powerful questions, and they deserve thoughtful answers. Here's something I've learned after decades in the financial industry. The families that experience the fewest problems after a death are often the families that planned ahead. Not necessarily the wealthiest, not necessarily the smartest, not necessarily the highest earners, the best prepared. Preparation often beats income. Organization often beats complexity, and planning often beats hope. Before we wrap up, here's a simple challenge. This week, spend 30 minutes reviewing your financial life. Make a list of your assets. Make a list of your debts. Review your beneficiaries. Review your will. And ask yourself one important question. If something happened to me tomorrow, would my family know what to do? If the answer is no, then perhaps this is the perfect time to start getting organized. Because financial peace doesn't happen by accident. It happens through planning. It happens through education. And it happens through taking action. Remember this, debt does not automatically become your children's responsibility, but debt can affect the legacy you leave behind. And that is why smart financial planning matters, not just for you, but for the people you love. Thank you for spending time with me today. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And before you go, let me ask one final question. If something happened to you tomorrow, would your family be financially prepared? Think about that. Until next time, remember, financial literacy is not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep, how wisely you manage it, and the legacy you leave behind. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video. The information provided in this content is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered financial, legal, or tax advice. Always consult with a qualified financial advisor, tax professional, or legal counsel before making any financial decisions. The creator of this content is not responsible for any actions taken based on the information provided. Investments and financial decisions carry risk, and past performance does not guarantee future results.